exist, at least if it does, I haven't seen it. And it would require a battery, because that's the only way you're going to overcome that water absorbing, is put a battery on it and make it actually beam out with the battery. And if you do that, you can actually broadcast to low-orbiting satellites. You can get some serious re-range with the battery. That's what your toll transponder passes are. Do you guys have toll roads in Montana? Praise God. Praise God, because those are being used to track people all over the country and fight them with everything you have. Because those toll transponders, what they do, they put toll roads up, and then they slow you down with one lane for cash. They charge you twice as much for cash, and they go like there's 50 cars in the cash lane and no cars in the toll lane. So they give you 5 toll lanes if you put this transponder in your windshield. Well, it's an RFID tracking device, and it can track you anywhere you go that they want to put in the speakers. So serious stuff. Yes, sir. I'm sorry, speak up. Yeah, question is about the soul catcher chip from IBM. That's one of many, many plans. There are futurists out there, and I sort of refer to them as kind of the unholy triumvirate. There's 3 of these guys doing research, futuristic-oriented research. One of them is Ray Kurzweil, who talks about sort of the post-body, when we won't even be people anymore. We'll be merged with machines. We'll all be sort of cyborgs. And all of that sort of centers on the same idea that all of your experiences can be recorded by a machine. Your memories can be downloaded into a machine, and we can just kill you and use the machine instead. It kind of looks like you and talks to your family members like you. So yeah, that research absolutely is going forward. I think, well, that's probably a topic for a whole other discussion, but I think it has serious spiritual implications. And let me talk just quickly about IBM. In China, the biggest market for RFID on the globe last year really surprised all the Procter & Gamble and Walmart people who wanted it in the packages. Last year, the biggest market was not bars of soap or shampoo, it was Chinese humans. The biggest market on Earth in 2008 was equipping every single citizen of China with an RFID-tagged mandatory national ID card. And guess what you get? If you're a Chinese communist official and there's a gathering like this and you walk around with your reader, you know what you get? You get full name. You get all the stuff on a regular driver's license. Name, address, phone number, hair color, height, eye color, etc. You also get educational history, career history, reproductive history, criminal history. You get the person's boss's name and phone number. You even get the name and phone number of their landlord. So you could be a Chinese government official and someone is walking across the street and you aim a handheld reader at them and boom, everything comes right back on your screen. So guess who put that together? The Chinese technologists? We know they're over there, right? They build all this stuff, right? They build all the electronics? No. You know who made that? IBM, Cisco, Dell, and Hewlett-Packard, US companies. And when they were done, because I subscribe to all their publications, they're hand-wringing, oh, we lost our big market, what are we going to do now? And you know what they did? They started lobbying the other governments of the world to do the same thing to their driver's licenses. India has now agreed to create a national database of every single person in that country, which is more likely than not to contain RFID. Mexico just agreed to do it. So you've got all the third world countries buying into this. And I'll tell you, Janet Napolitano, actually over all this fluff about Real ID and all the flack that she got, she actually said, you know, I think the solution here in the United States is every single American gets one of these enhanced driver's licenses with RFID. And why she's saying it? Because we're talking billions of dollars in profit to IBM, Hewlett-Packard, Dell, Cisco, and etc. Huge amounts of money. Yeah. Well, in China, you can't refuse. That's the thing about China. There is no saying no to the government in China. We know that certainly in China, one of the big issues has been their continual repression of any kind of dissent or opposition. So to the best of my knowledge, every single person in China has been issued one of these. At least in the U.S., they know who they're dealing with here. You can't do that to Americans because we're armed, and because we're uppity, and because we're independent, and because we know our rights. In China, they don't have to do that. Here in the U.S., the story they give us, this is about security. It'll make you safer. It's all about security. In China, I love this. There's a New York Times article where they interviewed the company that put this together, the Chinese company that hired all these American companies to do this. And they said, why are you doing this? And I love it because in the U.S., you know, they say, oh, it's security, it's all for good. In China, they don't need to do that. They don't need the rhetoric. In China, they said it's to control the population in the future. The socialized medical plan, that's what you guys should be out here protesting against. If you want to create a huge rally, that's what you need to be rallying against. They just put $1.2 billion out there for the creation of electronic medical records. Tommy Thompson, the former head of Health and Human Services under the Bush administration, probably the most powerful public health official on planet Earth, actually said during his tenure that he looks forward to the day when all Americans would have a microchip implant in their arm to manage their electronic medical records. That's a quote, you can look it up, he said it, we've even got him on tape saying it. So all that stuff's at Spychips.com. But yeah, absolutely. There's another piece to this, and I haven't heard anybody else talk about it, and they need to. And that is that if we move to this socialized medicine program, there is no not being part of it. In the state of Massachusetts, you cannot not participate in the program. You're fined literally thousands of dollars a year if you don't participate. So it's not that they're providing health care to the poor. You know, think what you will about that, at least it doesn't impact me. I would even, you know, heck, even make me pay for it before you make me participate in it. But it's the forcing you to participate in it that becomes insane. Because at that point, I'll tell you what's going to happen. They've not been able to get Real ID or Pass ID through. It's really hard to get Americans to take a national ID card, as they've discovered, as 28 plus states have revolted. So what are they going to do? I'll tell you right now. They're going to issue electronic medical records under this new healthcare plan, and that will be your very first national ID number. And you will need it to go to a doctor, you'll need it to go to a pharmacy, and if we're not careful, you're going to need it to buy groceries. You know why? Because when I investigated the supermarket frequent shopper cards, this was when I work at nocards.org, those shopper cards, they're collecting information on everything you buy. Our biggest grocery chain up in New England, a chain called Stop and Shop, invested $3 million in finding a way to take that data from when you scan the Saver card and put it into a database and break it down into a nutritional profile for every family. So they could literally type in your name and they could see how much green leafy vegetables, how much fat, how much sodium, how much sugar, how many artificial sweeteners, all of it. They could break it down. And it got even worse. They even had a pull-down menu where they could say diabetes. If this person has diabetes, are they eating properly for their diet? You know, and it would tell you. It would actually give them a score. Now, when I asked Kurt Avalon, who's the vice president for new technologies at Stop and Shop, well, gosh, $3 million, that's an awful lot of money to spend. Why did you do it? You know what he said? He said, we hope to recoup that money by sharing the data with HMOs. And HMOs could use that information because, after all, you are what you eat. You know, we of all people know that what you put in your body is going to impact your health. And so that national ID card, that's going to be your health ID card, is going to start linking into your food purchases. Already, you've got insurance companies, actually grocery stores, Safeway. Safeway employees, the big grocery chain out here in the West, California, Safeway employees actually get a discount on their health insurance if they allow Safeway to monitor everything they buy and if it's healthy. So it's a matter of time before we all have to do that. And that's all going to tie in with these electronic medical records. They're going to go way beyond medicine. They're going to be food. They're going to be monitoring what you buy. They're even, I believe, going to be restricting what you can buy. You know, you've got diabetes, no sugar products. So when you go to scan it, it's going to go, bam, put it back on the shelf.
Are they going to do that for...
Same concept. Are they what? They already do. There's a case of one of the stories that first got me thinking about supermarket frequent shopper cards was a man in Southern California who slipped and fell in a Vons supermarket. Vons is a chain owned by Safeway. And when he slipped and fell, it actually negligently left a bunch of yogurt on the floor. Well, this 55-year-old tow truck driver shattered his kneecap and had to have reconstructive surgery because they were negligent. They didn't clean it up. When he went to sue, his attorneys contacted Vons and said, we just want you to compensate this man for his surgery. They looked up his shopper card records, found that he had purchased what they considered to be large amounts of alcohol, and threatened that if he took the case to court, they would paint him as a falling down drunk. And the judge was it's Big Brother, know when you're buying. Pay cash. Yes. As far as shielding goes, lead works really well. It's heavy, but it works. Yeah, so the question was, does lead work as shielding for RFID? Absolutely, it works even better than aluminum foil. Yes, ma'am. You do not. Praise God.